Now, going over to the political part of the podcast, you have Eric Adams asking Biden to close the border. Now, will he be labeled a racist, as every single Republican has been for asking for a modicum of border support? Well, probably not, because he's politically on the left and usually you don't see a lot of backlash or any critique at all, except for a couple of the non-mainstream entities and news outlets and independent reporting. The other reason to click that subscribe button. I hear a lot. We always like to cover both sides of the political aisle, and there's a lot of material there because they both make many, many mistakes. Now, specifically, New York Mayor Eric Adams, who is a Democrat for years, has actually bragged about what they used to call sanctuary states, where they would encourage people to illegally cross the border. They said, hey, if you come to our state, not only will we not prosecute you for breaking the federal law, but we'll also reward you with a myriad of incentives. Needless to say, my family didn't get any of those when they came over from Cuba decades ago, but I digress. They worked like hell, and they're all, I would say, exceptionally successful, both morally as well as fiscally speaking. And again, they are a great net benefit to society, and they came here through the proper channels. Something that if you even whisper, you are immediately called a racist, where there's no double standard. Many people promulgate that, including myself, believe that standard should apply to every country or everyone who wants to come here. Go through proper channels so everyone gets the equal opportunity to enter the United States. But back to his political blunder. Now, Eric has actually warned that there's, quote, no more room, unquote, in the city for the border crossers and illegal aliens. Now, I'm actually surprised he didn't get canceled for saying that term in and of itself, as many people actually consider illegal aliens a pejorative term. Some people actually say it's a racist term, although from a political and a legal perspective, it is a legal term as well, first and foremost, I would argue. Now, interestingly enough, they're saying that since the spring of last year, more than 90,000 people have crossed the border illegally and arrived in New York City under Adams' control. And they actually incentivized this in the beginning. They have a migrant hotel dedication or program in which thousands have been put in a luxury hotel, such as the Roosevelt Hotel, for free. But, of course, because, again, as with pretty much anything in the universe, there are finite limitations to everything. And the hotels, they don't have any more space. And now the overflow, and unfortunately, again, this is why you need, I would argue, well, many people would argue, but that's why you need checks and balances for immigration. If you don't have the facilities set up to accept them or to process them, you're going to have chaos, which in this case, New York is out of having migrants live on the streets, as opposed to having them in that hotel or having them through the proper channels where they could get the appropriate commendation for the situation. And when he further asked for comment, he said, quote, we need to control the border. We need to call a state of emergency, and we need to properly fund this national crisis, unquote. Now, Mr. Adams also suggests that the future of New Yorkers is grim. Well, that's partially, well, that is mainly because of political reasons. There's a reason most businesses do not relocate to New York City, as it's not cohesive in any way because of their high prohibitive taxes, both personally and for business. And he says the city is grim. Well, perhaps more accurately, we'll say it's grimmer than usual. And he says there's no signs of showing that the migrant surge in the city will end anytime soon. Well, that's unquote. Well, that's also because you've incentivized it for decades, literally. And they're saying, I remember when Republicans say they need help at the border. You especially see this with the southern states where you have political leaders down there. The people in the north, on average, they call them the most pejorative terms possible. They call them racist, they're evil, which is kind of a cliche copy-paste. You have the cliche Democrat versus Republican. Republicans say Democrats are un-American. Then you have Democrats say Republicans, hate immigrants or they're evil. It's almost like for every topic, whether it be voting or the Second Amendment or you have extra policies or incentives or public programs, it's like the other side just is so lazy they just copy-paste. Now, of course, Republicans, they're not going to, I haven't seen a single one call out Eric Adams on his ridiculous hypocrisy. They should, because that's what the left do. You would think Republicans would do more in regards to the politics of just calling out your opponents when they blatantly do the thing that they blame you for doing, which is a theme many times in political news. But I haven't seen any major backlashes. You've seen a couple independent reporters who are noting this hypocrisy. But you're not going to see us on CNN, which again is a good reason to look at all the different news outlets because it gives you a more rounded perspective. And whether it's a business studying another business or a politician studying another politician, a brilliant warrior once said, "Know thy enemy," which is certainly a good idea to have. Now, I want to especially thank everyone for taking the time to tune in. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of August, so I greatly appreciate you taking the time to click that subscribe button. Every time you do that, you help the channel grow and develop and be able to get more resources to increase our capabilities for the softwares. So you maybe put some pictures up as we try to make them better and better. Also, don't forget to take the time to like and actually comment to the video. The feedback has also made the show a lot better. And also, finally, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone to stay safe and fight the good fight.